Today, lawyer and author Mark Silverthorn is helping Canadians deal with their debts through his law firm, which provides comprehensive debt settlement services. In 2011, CBC Marketplace featured Mark in an episode titled Debt Collector Dread.
What is a consumer proposal? If you are facing debt problems, seeing a bankruptcy trustee may be your last resort. If you meet with a trustee in bankruptcy, they can discuss two options you have in terms of how to deal with your current debt problems: making a consumer proposal and filing for personal bankruptcy. I would like to talk more about a consumer proposal, which I discuss in my book, The Wolf at the Door, What to Do When Collection Agencies Come Calling, published by McClellan and Stewart. Consumer proposals are one option a consumer might use to deal with their debt situation, and you can learn more about it in the Federal Bankruptcy and Insolvency Act. Not everyone can do a consumer proposal. Firstly, only people who are insolvent are eligible to do a consumer proposal. You are insolvent if, number one, the total dollar amount of your debts is greater than the total dollar amount of your assets, and number two, you are not able to pay your financial obligations as they become due. There are a number of people experiencing debt problems who are simply not insolvent because they have significant equity in their homes. If you have significant equity and you meet with a bankruptcy trustee, they may very well advise you that you are not eligible to do either a consumer proposal or file for personal bankruptcy because you have significant equity in your home and you could simply sell your home and use the proceeds to pay your debts. A consumer proposal may not be an option for you if you have less than $10,000 or $20,000 in unsecured debts. In this scenario, a consumer proposal is not attractive to your creditors because they will not receive very much money, because a significant amount will go to the bankruptcy trustee. In fact, the average consumer proposal in Canada involves the consumer having more than $40,000 in unsecured debt. When a person makes a consumer proposal, they meet with a bankruptcy trustee who can make an offer to your unsecured creditors, typically for between 30% and 40% of what you owe, to be paid in monthly installments over a period not to exceed 5 years. A consumer proposal is made to your creditors, and each one of your creditors has one vote for each dollar in debt. This means that if you owe more than 50% of your debt to one or two creditors, then they effectively have a veto over your consumer proposal. If your consumer proposal is accepted by your creditors, you will begin making monthly installment payments to the bankruptcy trustee. Under federal law, if you become more than 3 months in arrears making your monthly payments, your consumer proposal is automatically annulled and you are treated as if you had never made a consumer proposal. A consumer proposal has a number of important advantages and disadvantages. Here are some of the advantages. 1. All collection activity must cease and any creditor lawsuits are stayed. 2. A person's unsecured debts will be discharged once they have successfully completed making all of their payments under a consumer proposal. 3. A person who successfully completes a consumer proposal can eliminate their debt at significant discounts. Here are some of the disadvantages of a consumer proposal. It is very inflexible. You must include all of your unsecured debt, including monies owing to your employer, business partners, family, and friends. You cannot take advantage of the expiry of a limitation period to avoid paying a debt. And under federal law, a consumer proposal is automatically annulled where a consumer becomes more than 3 months in arrears making payments. 2. During the period a person is in a consumer proposal, typically a period of 5 years, the consumer is not entitled to obtain credit. Number 3, not all debts are discharged in a consumer proposal. Making a consumer proposal does not affect your secured debts. Some types of unsecured debts are not discharged by a consumer proposal, and this would include government fines. An outstanding student loan is not discharged unless the consumer stopped attending school a minimum of 7 years before making a consumer proposal. 4. A consumer proposal may not be appropriate for some persons whose employment or professional licensing requirements prohibits them from making a consumer proposal. A significant percentage of people who enter into a consumer proposal, a number as high as 25%, never successfully complete a consumer proposal. In fact, it is quite common for people who are in a consumer proposal to declare personal bankruptcy so that they can obtain financing to purchase an automobile, often in circumstances where they need to replace the car they had at the time they entered into the consumer proposal. I would invite you to call and speak to a representative of my firm to learn more about enrolling in a debt settlement plan with my law firm. If you are seriously considering making a consumer proposal, before you make a final decision to do so, I would recommend that you first read my book, The Wolf at the Door, What to Do When Collection Agencies Come Calling. Thank you.